vintage Talkmasters. But this is a capstone project. So this is the 10th project in the book. It's supposed to encompass all those things that you learn and put them into one inspiring speech. So prepare to be inspired. Leah Bug. Leah Bug.
Good morning. Good morning. It is so great to see so many of you here this morning. And I don't know about all of you, but morning is not what I look forward to. Having to get up early, I'm one of those that, kind of crawls out of bed and I'm kind of stumbling my way to the shower. And all I can think about is coffee, coffee. In fact, my brain doesn't even begin thinking until I've had that jolt of caffeine. So you might be wondering, why would you join a Toastmaster meeting that starts at 7:15 in the morning? Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, honored guest, I want to ask you that same question. Why did you join Toastmasters? And while you think about that, I'm just going to go next door and get some coffee. Just kidding. But seriously, why did you join Talkmasters? Was it to become a better speaker? Was it because your boss said, you really need to work on some communication skills? Was it because you're an entrepreneur and you wanted to gain some experience speaking and being able to network and help promote your business? Was it because you're new in town and maybe you wanted to meet some people, get to know some folks? Well, for me, I have to say it was a little bit of some of those things, and why I joined was a little self-serving. Now, as I mentioned, I'm not a morning person, so I had to think about, is this really where I want to be? Well, this was the closest. At the time, our club was over on Wake Forest Road, and it was only 3 minutes for me to get here. So that was a little bit planned when I was searching for a Toastmaster group. 3 minutes, 7:15, no problem. I can make that. I can roll out of bed at 6:45 and roll in and be able to join the meeting. And when I first came here, I was so impressed because we had a woman president, Remy. It's like, oh, yay! I can see myself fitting here. A woman president, a friendly group of people, and they laughed. There was a variety of speech abilities. There were beginners, but there were also the seasoned, distinguished Toastmasters to help us learn from them. So I thought, this could be it. And then, of course, there was the member. There was one member in particular that really made a difference, and I can say that's the reason why I'm standing here today, because this member, when I first came that day, made sure he came over to me, made me feel welcome. When we went to coffee, another bonus, that coffee, he made sure I was always part of the conversation. When I was trying to figure out, how do I compose a speech? He was there to help me. When I needed to figure out how to evaluate, he would give me advice. Well, this is how I've done it. Now, some of you may be thinking, who could this member be? Well, this member is very unselfish. He really gave back to our club. And I saw this because when our club decided we had to move, and we lost our meeting space, he was instrumental in visiting all the different possible club spaces to figure out where we should be. This person I'm talking about is Jay Smith.
Oh, jeez.
And Jay, without your unselfish giving back to the club, I know I wouldn't be here today. And Jay does that for everybody. I watch him as he talks to new guests, and really helps them feel warm and part of this group. Jay also would bring, when we moved here, he would bring a bucket of all of the Toastmasters supplies every week to make sure that we have what we needed for our club to be successful. And so I was really inspired by that, Jay, and I saw how you really gave back to this club. So I started thinking, what can I do to give back? So when I was approached to consider being vice president of membership, at first I thought, I don't know, what if I make a mistake? What if I forget to say all the right things? I'm not always winsome. And so what if I offend someone and they don't come back? And then I realized, okay, we're all here to learn. We're all here to get better. And I need to take a chance. I need to embrace being uncomfortable. And so I accepted that role. And I was realizing one of the reasons I came to Toastmasters was that I had left Penn State as working full-time. I was there for 9 years. I loved my job. I loved what I was doing. And my husband decided to take a job here. And so when we came, I lost my job. I was trying to find a job. I was not doing very well in my interviews with those jobs, and I was really losing my self-confidence. But I found, by giving back to the club and being that vice president of membership, I was starting to get my confidence again. I was starting to feel like, okay, I know what I'm doing. I've got this. I keep learning, and I keep growing, and that hasn't stopped. When I became president, I had some of those other same questions. Who am I? Me? President? I don't know if I have the time. That's got to be a lot of work. What if I do it wrong? I'm trying to lead a group of individuals, but who am I to be doing that? But I'm reminded by Jay and by many others here the importance of giving back. Because when you give back to an organization, not only are you helping others, but you end up helping yourself even more. Now, it's coming near the end of my term as the president, and it's really given me some time to look back and reflect on how I've grown, but how have I hopefully helped others grow as well. I've had some great mentors that have helped to guide me along the way, and I hope that I am being an effective mentor to my mentee, because giving back is a symbiotic relationship, and it can really help make you grow and make a difference. So as I reflect upon this, and many may think, so is Leah going to be one of those presidents that sails off into the sunset? After all, she just finally is now the executive director of the North Carolina Science Fair Foundation. And a lot of that is because of what I gave back into this club. Doing the different roles of timekeeper and evaluator and Toastmaster really helped to build my confidence and really helped me to be a better, effective speaker. And so I'm not going anywhere, because the one great thing about this club is that we're all in it together. We're here to support one another. We're here to learn, so that when we stumble and we mess up in our role, or we don't do that perfect job, that's okay, because we're all here helping each other, encouraging, supporting, and we learn from those mistakes. So when I started my speech, I asked you, why did you join Talkmasters? Now I want to ask you another question. What are you willing to give back to Talkmasters? What are you willing to do to help support our club continue to be one of the best in the triangle? What are you willing to do? Don't wait for someone to ask you. Take charge. Really think about, what could I do? Ask questions. We're all here. We're not, many of us, a lot of us aren't going anywhere. And so we're going to be here to help. So I hope that you will seriously think about how you can take that challenge and how you can help our club move forward into the next year, into 2020, through giving back, and by giving back, by gaining so much. So I look forward to seeing who in this room may be our next group of leaders.